Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and this is Guitar Solo Reactions, and today we have Guitar World's top 25 rock guitar players. This is off of a list that's actually 100, but they broke it down into different categories, whether it's metal, shred, blues, and I thought I've already done the metal version, and today we are going to do the rock version. If this is something you like and there's enough traction with it, I'd like to move and do the shred and some of the other stuff. And this is in direct response to the Rolling Stone Top 250, which I did that video as well, and I'll put that link in the comment section. And I think most people that watched that maybe didn't agree with me per se, but definitely were perplexed by that top 250 list. I definitely was. So with all that said, at number 25, we have Joe Perry. I love Joe Perry as far as the early Aerosmith. There's some great stuff through the 70s. I would not, however, put him in my top 25. He might figure in at my top 100, towards the top end of that. Number 24 is Peter Frampton. He might make the top 100 depending on the day. 23, Steve Howe, definitely in my top 25, so that's a great pick. Lindsey Buckingham at 22. I would not say he would make it into my top 100 if I went that far. Number 21, Pete Townsend, same there, not in my top 100. George Harrison, same there. Some of these might be in the top 250, but I don't think so. 19 would be Frank Zappa. He would be in my top 5. Number 18, Keith Richards, not in my top 100 ever. Joe Walsh would be number 17. He might be in that top 100. I like Joe. I like a lot of the James Gang. I like a lot of his hits, and he's an incredible guitar player. So he's, he would probably be in that list. Number 16 is Dwayne Allman. He would definitely be in my top 25. Already, this list in the top 25 resonates with me as a player more than the Rolling Stone. So that's not news to anyone that's probably watching this. But if you have a top 10, maybe, I'd love to see that in the comments. I kind of like doing that because there's a lot of things that I'm going to have some honorable mentions, but there's a lot I'm sure I've forgotten due to just whatever. So number 15 is Billy Gibbons. He would definitely be in my top 25. 14, Gary Moore, definitely. Let's see, 13 would be Malcolm Young and Angus Young. They might be in the top 100. I don't really think of them as, my kind of guitar player. Love AC/DC, great songs and all of that, but as far as guitar playing goes, not really. Mark Knopfler, he would definitely be in my top 50. I like a lot of his work. Number 11 is Carlos Santana. He would definitely be in my top 25. Number 10, we have a few in here that I definitely would not put in probably even my top 250, and this may be the one that pisses people off the most, is Slash. I think he's a great guitar player. He definitely is a great songwriter, but it's not my thing. If you would have talked to me in 86 or something, maybe, or 88, maybe that would be more appropriate. I can't remember when the first record came out. I would put like Dickie Betts in there, someone like that, in that, kind of take his spot, something like that. Number 9 is Jeff Beck. He would definitely be in my top 10 at all times. Number 8 is Alex Lifeson, and he would definitely be in my top 15. Huge Rush fan, have been since one of my first records was Rush, which was what was it called? The trio of the first 3 records that kind of packaged them together. Had a great cover with the Hemispheres guy with the pentagram or whatever. So I have a fond memory of Rush, and I still listen to Rush almost every day. Anyway, number 7, I love this one, Richie Blackmore. Again, he would be in my top 50. to be blunt, but towards maybe in the 30s or something. I don't know. But, again, if you would have talked to me 35 years ago, he would definitely be in my top 10. Number 6 is David Gilmour. He'd be in my top 25. I can't say I listened to tons of Pink Floyd, but I've always loved his guitar work, and of course the band's incredible. This one may piss people off too, and it is Eric Clapton. He would probably maybe be in my top 100. I would replace him with Tony Iommi, and this will be kind of he's actually in another list, but I would kind of consider him more of a rock player than a heavy metal player. I mean, he invented it as far as I'm concerned, but if we're talking from today's perspective as far as having music goes, I would consider him one of the greatest, and he's always in my top 5. So I'm going to put him in there anyway. Number 4 is Eddie Van Halen. He would definitely be in my top 25 players for sure. Number 3 is Jimmy Page. He would definitely be in my top 25, probably my top 15, if that's a thing. I don't know. Jimi Hendrix would be definitely in my top 10. He is at number 2. And number 1 is Brian May. And I think he would definitely figure into my top 50, absolutely. Where that'd be at, I don't know. I find Queen as a band is incredibly cool and diverse players. And Brian to be one of the true original rock guitar players of all time. Queen and News of the World, that record, when that came out, I bought that. That was one of my first records. There's a lot of cool songs on there with some incredibly cool layered guitar parts. All Dead. That's one of my favorite Queen songs. Spread Your Wings. It's Late. There's a couple other songs on there. I'll have to look again. But I really, really like that record a lot. That, to me, is the most solid Queen record. Where even with You Will Rock Me and We Are the Champions, which I wouldn't necessarily listen to, the rest of the record's all incredible to me. So my favorite Queen record. He is at number 1. I would not put him at number 1. Who didn't get mentioned, at least in this top 25. They didn't break this into progressive rock players, so I'll throw a few of those in there. In my top 5 would definitely be Robert Fripp. And as far as honorable mentions that didn't make this top 25, they also had honorable mentions, but I don't believe any of these were on it. And I'll throw you mine, which would be, of course, the great Michael Schenker from Scorpions, UFO, and then, of course, his solo career. An incredible player. I love UFO. Uli John Roth, however you want to say it, obviously an amazing innovator that kind of took that Ritchie Blackmore kind of classical thing, but with more of a Hendrix vibe, and kind of took it to, the next level, I guess. And I've always loved him. Hoping to see him this year. They canceled the show just a couple of months ago here, and I'd love to see him again. It's been a while. So Uli John Roth, Adrian Belew, obviously, Zappa, David Bowie, Talking Heads, King Crimson, and many, many other things. Laurie Anderson. So he's not on this list. I would put him in my top 25. James Honeyman Scott. He would probably be in my top 50 from the Pretenders. I always, he did, I think, 2 records with the Pretenders. I always thought he had some great ideas and just kind of a cool player. Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy. Robbie Robertson from Thin Lizzy as well. 2 great, incredible rock players. Robin Trower's not on this list. I would definitely put him on it as an honorable mention. Or if I was doing 100, he'd be in that 100. John Sykes. Love his playing with Thin Lizzy and other bands. Blue Murder, I think, was his other band. And he was obviously in Whitesnake as well. I don't know about that, but, I think he was a great player for that band. So Vivian Campbell was in that band with... Vivian was also, he's obviously been in Def Leppard for a long time, but he's also was in Dio's band on the first 2 records. That first record's killer. He would be on this honorable list as well. And then I'll round it out with Ted Nugent. Early Ted Nugent, huge impact on me. all the feedback. I know a lot of the lyrics, and personally, I don't agree with the politics part of it. But as far as a player, some amazing stuff that I think goes beyond just your basic rock stuff. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff on the late Amboy Duke stuff, and then his earlier records, Free for All, uh, uh, Double Live Gonzo has some incredible stuff on it, and then you have Cat Scratch Fever and stuff like that. There's some cool songs on that. The songs themselves are pretty cool. The lyrical content pretty dumb. So, but as a guitar player, love Ted. That is my top 25 and honorable mentions. I appreciate you checking this out. Please put your top 10 or top 25. I'd love to see 25, and I'd love to kind of see others mentioned. I know people will mention Rory Gallagher, maybe Frank Marino's always mentioned. Those are not kind of my favorite. I would maybe even mention, is his name Michael Crichton from Saga? I liked, him as a player quite a bit. And then Jan Ackerman from Focus. He was really amazing and still is, I believe. Those guys in April Wine. So anyway, we could go on and on and on and on forever. But I dig that you've watched it this far. If you have, I appreciate it. And please comment, like, and subscribe. And if this, like I said, I'd like to do more off this list. It's pretty cool. And there's not a lot of cool lists out there. The Rolling Stone one obviously was so controversial, it was easy to kind of critique that. This one, outside of maybe Eric Clapton and Slash, those to me were the outliers where I wouldn't probably have them in my top 100. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm Brian. I'll see you soon. Thanks.